Coming to you from inside the suites at Globe Life Field, two Rangers broadcasters who come on your TVs every day of the season to talk about the Rangers.
If people don't understand the name of it, the other day was 3 a.m. on a bus and you guys were still talking Rangers.
Now they're putting down their broadcast mics to pick up the podcast ones because they are still talking Rangers.
All right, well, welcome in to Still Talking Rangers, episode whatever it is. Dave Raymond, Jared Sandler, and our very special guest today, Adrian Beltré, the Hall of Famer, 21 years in the big leagues, all the accolades, all the statues. Wait a minute, statues. When you were a kid, growing up in the Dominican, do you remember at any point seeing a statue, going to a library, going to a museum or something?
I don't remember exactly what the first statue I saw, but I can tell you I never thought I would have a statue. That's for sure. But I was a little kid going to the museum. I don't remember exactly the name of the place, but I was young. But never in my 1,000 years of life, I didn't live that long, I never thought I would have one.
Yeah, it is a pretty crazy honor. The National Baseball Hall of Fame is the highest achievement in the sport. Rangers Hall of Fame, number retirement, all those things, they're incredible. You have trophies and items galore, but this one's different, right? Your trophies can end up in a basement, right? Anything like that can just end up somewhere. But to have a statue of you outside the place where you played, I can't imagine what that feels like. How does it stand up among the various honors that you've had?
I don't know how to explain this. I was actually talking with my family about this. Yes, accolades are great, and I didn't play for that, but and last year, fresh of getting the highest honors in baseball you can get, which is unexpected for me. Never thought about I would get to that point. But yesterday, I didn't know how to feel because a statue is something like a little beyond that, because it is going to be there forever. And the feelings that I had yesterday, it actually is second time ever that I got emotional doing a speech, because I didn't practice a speech. I just thought about getting up there and just saying what I felt. And it just came to my mind, this kid from the Dominican Republic, just loved the game of baseball and came to the United States. And I just thought in my mind how lucky and how grateful that is my life. How lucky my life has been that I'm getting to the Hall of Fame now. I'm getting a statue, and it just took me back to those days when I was a little kid in the Dominican Republic. That I never thought that would ever happen, and it hit me yesterday and got emotional for a second there. But I hold it for a little bit. But I can't really explain how I feel, because I'm still kind of in my mind trying to figure out like how to take it, because I was actually talking to my son about this. I'm really grateful and I'm honored, but I felt a little bit like I don't know if I'm worthy of it, because I feel like this is way beyond, like having a statue of yourself is something crazy, and I'm still working on how to feel about that. But I'm really honored, I'm grateful, and I forever be grateful to the front office and the way they have treated me over the years. And that says I'm going to be 20 years forever, that's for sure.
I want to get into the statue a little bit more, but you're talking about your upbringing.
Yeah.
We've had so many conversations with you over the years, and I'm sure you've talked about it. I guess I don't really recall. What was your upbringing like? What was it like growing up? What were your interests? What were the challenges you guys dealt with? What was it like for you?
I had a great childhood. We were, I would say, low middle class. My dad had a decent job that I didn't need anything, or I didn't think I needed anything, because you always get accustomed to what you have, what you see. I grew up around my cousins. All my family lives around it, so I felt like I just walk around and I knew everybody. So it was a happy childhood. I have only 2 or 3 pair of shoes that I have to make sure that, the one for school is really clean, the one for sport is clean, so I have to make sure I take care of my shoes. And when one was kind of broken or ripped, old, I have to think about how am I going to ask my dad for new shoes. So, I was careful about that. But I thought that I had way that I more than I needed. But other than that, like I had a happy childhood. I played a lot with my cousin. I grew up playing baseball, but not baseball like here in the U.S. I played baseball in my front yard with my cousins with a stick and a tennis ball. That's how I learned how to play baseball. And then later on, when I was in 6th grade, almost 7th grade, it's one of my classmates asked me that why do I come and play baseball with him, organized baseball, little league. And I go, I can go check it out. And I went, I talked to the coach, and I said, I would like to, come and join my friend. And he told me how much the quote was for monthly to play in it. I took my dad and say, okay. And after that, I was almost 13 when I started playing Little League. So that's what I actually fell in love more with the sport. And then 2 years later, I signed. That's how quick it happened.
Yeah.
But I never play baseball thinking about making a profession. I just play baseball because I liked it. I loved it. I saw my dad playing when I was little. But nobody told me, hey, come and play Little League. Come here. I just actually did it myself with my friend. And that's how my journey began as a baseball player.
The first manager I worked with in the big leagues was Felipe Alou. And this was 2003. Yeah. And I did maybe 20 games that year with the Giants. And I remember having I had 2 or 3 conversations with him the whole season. But we had a conversation about the outgoing class of superstars in baseball. Bonds was getting toward the end. McGuire had just retired maybe a year or 2 earlier. Sosa was kind of winding down. And so we were talking about the young players that would fill that void. And he mentioned you, which it was a year before you had that huge year with the Dodgers, 04. But he talked about you. And then later, not until many, many years later when I would be here, did I read some story that your dad knew Felipe and you were just like a little baby or something. He put you in Felipe's arms and said, hey, here's the next
allegedly. I don't remember anything. But yeah, that's how Felipe family and my family would grow up, which is probably 10 minutes walking to each other. So it's their neighborhood. My dad knew him. Yeah, I don't know if the whole story is true, but they said it was true. So I don't remember. I was a little kid. But yes, my dad had a relationship with him. And every time he would come back to Dominican from the state, obviously we knew how big Felipe was. And we always had a connection. We got to talk a lot. But he was always the same guy. He acted like he was not a freaking great player or a great manager. He was the same guy, and he always treated me well. So yeah, there's always been a connection with that. And I remember my first year when I came to the big leagues, he was with the Expos. And he waited for me outside. And when we came out to stretch, he greeted me and said, hey, I'm proud of you, congratulations. I knew you were gonna make it. It's really proud of you. So, I know you have a great tools to be a regular ball player in the big leagues. So good luck and work hard. Thanks. I didn't expect that from him, but but it meant a lot. I will never forget that.
I just imagine the Dominican, especially a big city like Santo Domingo, being just full of ex-big leaguers who come back and maybe influence young guys like you, but it doesn't sound like it was that way at all, right? You were just playing for fun with some classmates, just goofing around?
Yeah, that's how it happened. Obviously I love baseball because that's sort of like we watch in Dominican baseball, and my dad played baseball. But I never thought about, I need to go and get into Little League and sign up so I can become a baseball player. It wasn't like that. I just got into it because, again, my friend told me, hey, why don't you come and play with it? Because we used to play in the background in school. What do you call that? What do you get for a sport?
Oh, recess.
Recess. Thank you. I escaped my mind.
Yeah.
So recess, we asked to be pretty good. So I'm like, why don't you come play with us? So like, okay, I'll go play with you. And that's how it happened. But I never in my mind thought about, I'm going to go here so I can actually make this professional, make it my life. But it just happened.
What about like soccer, basketball, tennis?
I played a little tennis. I grew up next to a country club in Dominican, which most of my cousins and my uncles were ball boys or caddies. And that's what I wanted to be. I want to be a caddy. But my dad didn't let me. And
when you were a kid, you wanted to be a caddy, or
yes,
when you got
no,
older?
when I was a kid. I was like 12, 13 years old. I wanted to be a caddy because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
All my cousins, what they did. So I want to be a caddy too. But I didn't get to do it because my dad didn't let me. But I'm glad he didn't.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And okay, so you said your dad played. How good was he? Like, at what level did he?
Depends who you ask. If you ask him, he was pretty good. No, I heard his stories about how good my dad was. He didn't get to play professional. It was hard to play professional back then. But he did play winter ball. He was on the reserve for winter ball. He played amateur baseball for a long time. And he had great tools. That's what I heard. Yeah. I got to see him playing softball, not baseball. But no, you can tell that he was good. But I didn't get a chance to see him. I guess he stopped playing baseball when I was too young, I guess.
When did you realize this was something you could pursue? And you said like there's a 2-year difference. You play Little League, 2 years later you get signed. Did you know right away, like, yeah, like I am pretty good at this when you start playing Little League, or not until, I guess, later on? Well,
not really, because it's interesting. It was kind of weird the way it happened. I started playing, and I didn't even know idea what position I was going to play. I just wanted to play. I have no recollection of, okay, I want to play second, third, short, or outfield, whatever. So I went to practice. They had me over the place. And when I got back home, I told my dad, I say, the practice was really good. I really like playing that team. But I asked him, like, where should I play the position? Because I was like kind of like the odd man out because I don't know what to do. And he said to me, you should play second base because you're going to be short. Second baseman, I don't know, short. I'll play second base. So I went, bought a glove, and I started playing second base. And I guess I was pretty decent at it because the guy that was playing second base got booted out somewhere else. And I started playing second base. And about probably, I would say about maybe 3-4 months after I actually got the job playing second base every day, the guy that was playing third base, I guess, because, okay, one thing so you can understand the story. In Dominican, we don't have an age, like, you're 13, you're in this group. There's like, from freaking 10 until 16, you can be in the same team if you're good enough.
Okay.
That's how it worked. So when I was playing that league, the guy that I was playing third base was being looked at by a scout already. And a scout told him that he should play second base. But he knew he can play second base over me. So on the next practice, he called me and said, I think you should play third base. You look better in third base. So like friendly conversation. And I said, okay. And I moved to third. That was it.
When did you find out that it was all a part of like a plan for him?
I find out maybe a year or two later.
Okay.
And it's funny because I mentioned that in my speech in the Hall of Fame. And I haven't seen him in a while. And he actually saw the post. And he said in the post that, yeah, that was me. I'm so. And then we reconnected.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy about this, because I didn't know we'd get into this today. I just, before coming in, I thought, oh, let's look back a little bit at Adrian's career. I thought, what's interesting? I wonder how much he played other places. You played 1 inning at second base in the big leagues.
Something like that, yeah. I know I played second base a little bit and shortstop maybe a couple.
Shortstop. One of them you played 1 inning. The other one you played 14 innings. Yeah. And then the rest was
third base.
Yeah. A little bit of DH. Yeah. But it was amazing because then I thought, like, that just doesn't really happen anymore. I was thinking like the great players today, right? Aaron Judge. Well, he's played a lot of right. He's played a lot of center. Obviously, DH is plenty. Like, a lot of incredible players who get moved around. Then later in their careers might have to shift a little bit, right? But, man, you stayed at third base every single day. That's kind of amazing, especially in that you really weren't supposed to be there.
I know it's weird because I played 2 innings in third base and I fell in love with it right away. I just loved it, everything about it. But it's funny because when I was in Dominican, I signed and I came to the United States my first year, and I was really rough defensively. I got tools, but I was just raw. And I guess there were talks about trying to make me a shortstop because they thought guy can hit. I was a decent runner, probably better chance to be a shortstop. So they tried to make me a shortstop in Dominican, and they saw like, no, it's stiff. It didn't work. It worked with me for about a couple months, make me shortstop, didn't work. And I was glad because I was open to do whatever. And I just want to get to the next step and be better. But didn't work. But it's funny. I played third base like I didn't want nobody to take my job next step. This is the way I did it. I prepared myself that way, but I was mentally ready to move somewhere else because I knew how the game is. You know, I knew back in my probably later years, you know, when I get close to 40 or late 30s, that, you know, somebody might come and be better than me and I have to move around somewhere else. I was okay with that. But I was not gonna just let it happen.
Yeah.
I was gonna do everything in my power to be good enough there that you have to think about twice to move me. And that's how I practice every day. That's how I came to the ballpark every day. Because even though, like, I don't know if he can tell you, you know, what Joey Gallo is, you know, I was in that transition in 16, 17, where, and 15, I think might be the first year where Joey was coming up and Joey was hitting, but it was not really in a spot for him. And I talked to John Downey and I said, listen, if Joey plays well in spring training, I move somewhere else because I want to win. And I know that he can hit. And I told Joey straight up, hey, if you play better than me in spring training, if you beat me in spring training at third base, I'll let you have it. But it didn't happen because that motivated me more to be better and to compete more and just find an excuse to work harder. It didn't end up happening, but I was ready mentally to get to that spot where I have to understand how the baseball works.
Whataburger's Pico de Gallo Burger is back, and it's bringing a fiesta of fresh flavors. 2 all-beef patties, crisp Pico de Gallo, melty pepper jack, and creamy cilantro lime sauce. Limited time only, so grab it before it's gone. People ask all the time, like, what's your greatest memory or whatever of Adrian? And for me, and I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it again, and you've probably even heard me tell the story. You had already gotten number 3,000. We were coming down the stretch of a miserable season where we were not good. You had already announced that this was it, you're gonna retire. This time it's late August, and it's 116 degrees outside or something. And I'm upstairs in the booth, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, windows closed, AC pumping, just trying to get through that day somehow. And I hear crack, crack. I look down the field. There's never anybody working on the field, or not that much. And I see a pile of balls spread out all over the place in the third base coach's box. And there you are, taking ground balls for like 20, 30 minutes. I can't remember who was hitting them to, probably bees. Just smack, smack. I'm like, what is he doing taking ground ball? Like, why is he the only one out there taking ground balls in a season that's already lost? A career that's winding down in another 6 weeks. He's already accomplished every single thing you could possibly accomplish. But I don't know if that was paranoia that somebody might take your spot in the last 6 weeks. What were you doing?
My mind works different and it's weird, but I just feel like I need to work on something every day. And I felt like I was missing something defensively. And I play every day like it's my last. So I just needed to work on something. And I just didn't feel right playing defense for a week or so. And I just needed to get some extra work. And I got out there. I didn't think about, well, to be honest too, I never announced that I was retiring. People knew. People thought, or people expected, but I never publicly said that was enough. Sure. Because I didn't want people to, all that stuff that happened.
You didn't want the farewell tour.
I don't like that. I don't like attention on me, so I just think, in my mind, yes, this much likely would be my last, but I did announce it. But I just felt like I needed to work on my defense because, I still have to perform. People come to see you. and you have obligation to do your best in the field every day. And I just feel like if you don't feel right on something, you need to work at it to get better. Doesn't matter if it's the last day, last week, or whatever it might be. So yeah, I didn't see it like, okay, six more weeks, and I'm just gonna sit down and let it happen. That's not how I play.
Truthfully, people, that's what they were coming to see, was coming to see you.
At that
I mean,
point,
at that
too.
point, it was like, yeah, I mean, we wanted to see you play, and that's the thing. You played at such a high level, defensively, offensively.
And hey, on the bases, pretty consistent. Every year with the Rangers,
Yeah.
That square is always filled up. I don't know how I'm gonna get there, but I'm gonna get there. That's for sure.
Hey, but I want to know about the messing around, the goofing off, because you also played with that love, that energy and just passion and a clear ease with your teammates. And obviously you and Elvis had quite the rapport. Was it always that way? Because I don't think it was. Surely your first years with the Dodgers, you weren't doing that. But when did that little switch flip? And what caused it? And did it ever annoy you? Did he ever really annoy you?
Which part I know him?
Elvis.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's for sure. He annoyed me all the time. But I always had that in me. That's the way I grew up playing baseball, enjoying myself, and trying to be the best I can, but at the same time enjoy what I do. But and in the minor league, do the same. But when I came to the big league, it was different because back then it was so much respect for the guys that been there for a long time, and I was happy just to be there, that I didn't want to be in anybody's way. So I got there and I knew that it was a long shot for me to be there. It was an accident, right? So in my mind, I know that I didn't supposed to be here, but I don't want to go back to the minor league. So my whole thought process was, I'm gonna work hard and show them that I'm not a minor league player. But at the same time, I don't want anybody to have an excuse to send me down to minor league for any kind of way that I act. So I grabbed that and I was super quiet. I was a yes man, and I work hard and trying to figure out how to stay in the big league, be consistent. So that stayed with me. But now in the fact that I knew that I actually enjoyed the game the way I wanted to, it never came out earlier because I struggled a lot too with the Dodgers. And I saw with other players that even though they were good players, they were young kid, but the old guys, you called it, or the veteran, it would bother them. So they would call them out, make fun of them, make them do like crazy stuff. I can say in camera. And that stayed with me. So I said, I'm just gonna be quiet, do whatever they want me to do, but I just want to be here. I love playing baseball. I know how difficult it is to get here, but I want to do everything in my power just to stay here. And that stayed with me. And then I played 7 seasons in LA, and I went to Seattle, and I tried to be a little more, but then I struggled. The team was struggling. So then I couldn't have fun because it didn't look right. Because I always had this thought about, okay, am I crossing the line of being professional or doing what I want to do and enjoy it? I didn't know where the line was. So I always didn't want to cross it, so I always stay way behind it. And I did have some great times in Seattle, especially with Felix and those guys, but I never let them come out everything like I wanted to. Then I went to Boston. Boston was a little more loose because it had a more loose type of atmosphere with the guys, and Francona, the manager, said, hey, just be yourself, and that kind of let me be more loose. And I felt like, man, when I play more loose, I play better because I play like a kid, and that I got a little more out. And then when I got here, when I got here, everything was even better because JD told me, hey, I know what you can do. This is your clubhouse, along with Michael Young and the rest of the guys. Be yourself. And the way that everybody embraced me, it just let me be myself. And then when I felt, the first month I was a little, let me see how everything works. Because I never want to step on anybody's toes. But then I feel like everybody was so loose and everybody was having fun and they had this thing. So I'm like, hey, like, okay, this is a place where I can be myself. Then I started like kind of coming out more, and then I felt like I was myself. And that probably was the reason why I started performing even more better and more consistent, because I was just playing the game that I grew up playing in Dominican with. Nothing matters, just the game. I don't care about stats. I don't care about what people think outside the camera. I'm just playing the game because I'm having fun and I want to win. I want to beat that guy in the other line. That's how I started playing here, and it worked for me.
That's incredible. I didn't realize, I never heard you explain the timeline of it all and the evolution. The toughness. So are you the youngest?
I'm a middle.
You're a middle. He's a middle. I'm the youngest. I got beat up by my brothers. They're a lot older than me. I was never allowed to cry or any of that. And I will never forget, I hope 50 years from now, I never forget when you came back from the thumb injury. We're all up waiting for the lineup. The lineup hasn't come out. It hasn't come out. Well, he hadn't gone on a rehab assignment. We had no idea. You weren't supposed to come back for another 3 weeks, and all of a sudden we hear John Blake's voice in the press box. I can't do John Blake, but attention, whatever. A Ranger roster move, Adrian Beltré has been activated. And it was like, no way. Like, he's not supposed to be back for 4 weeks. And then I think you got a double, either your first at bat or that game, and you always played so well. It seemed like when you were hurt, and then it was later that year with the back in Toronto, right?
It might be the same year. I don't remember exactly, but yeah.
You had one swing, so you hurt your back. Was it
Light in second?
Okay.
Yeah.
And you had one swing basically, and whatever happened, if you swung and missed, the bat was probably not going to be like.
Yeah.
And you get a hit up the middle. End up scoring. The Rangers won that game series. We don't have to talk about it. But can you walk us through that again? That to me is one of the most remarkable stories. You got one swing on a huge stage and you deliver.
Yeah, it was tough for me because we didn't expect to be the playoffs that year, and we had a great second half. Everybody put it together, and then we got to I think it was 2-0 in the series,
yeah.
And we were looking pretty good, and I was feeling pretty good swinging. I remember that I had a bad index finger that Kyle Seager, Corey's brother, kind of blocked me in third base, and kind of my finger got screwed up. And I was dealing with that. But then I remember I was in first, and Prince hit a ground ball second, and I was trying to slide in second, break into a play, and I just slid it all awkward, and my back just kind of gave out, and I felt the hard way. I felt something. I never had a back problem like that. I just felt like something stopped me in the back, and I got up, and I just felt like, oh crap, not now. Like, no, now. And I was trying to walk it off, and I'm like, man, it's not good. So I played defense that inning. I knew I could move, and it was really painful. But it's the playoffs, and the man is trying to take me out, and I'm like, I don't want to come out. This is the playoffs. I don't want to come out. Like, I played to be here. There's no, Adrian, you have to be out. You can't move. And I told him, I said, Banny, I have one good swing in me. Like, if we get, I was hitting, I think, 4 in that inning. And I said, if we got people on the base, I wanna hit. I got one swinger. I went to the little tee we have in Toronto back. I couldn't swing. I couldn't turn at all. I'm like, man, how am I gonna do this? But I'm committed to it. I know that I have a good swing on it. And I know Price was pitching, and he's a tough cookie, but I felt comfortable with him. So then I don't remember who got to second base, and I said, I'm hitting. I am hitting. Nobody taking me out of this game. So I'm at home plate, and I got one swing and one swing only. Do not miss. And I was just focused on that pitch that I want to hit, location I want to hit. And I saw that pitch, and I knew that this was it. And I hit a pretty good swing on it, line drive. But when I made contact, my back just went out again, and it completely shut down. I couldn't walk. I knew that I think it was Batista. If he get the ball to the first, I'm out by half a mile. I couldn't do anything. And I got to first, and I couldn't move. And I didn't want to get out of the game. I didn't want to get out of the game. But they all came out, and Bannister and the coaches said, you have to come out. You have to come out. And that was the right move to get out, but it hurt me more to come out than actually I was feeling in my bag. Because I felt like I was letting everybody down, because I knew that we were just one getting away to get to the next step. But it's a hard time it's something that I really regret, getting hurt in that situation. Who knows, it might be different, but it's baseball.
If you love banana pudding, you've got to try Whataburger's Banana Pudding Shake. Back, but for a limited time only.
All right, so, Adrian, we're talking about the swing in Toronto. It's going down to a knee, right? You're here for the dedication of the statue. We got to talk about this bit of going down to the knee. How and why did that start happening?
How, I don't really know. What the why is. I always had a wild swing when I was in the minor league, and I started getting this relationship with our minor league hitting coach. That he understood my swing, but he knew that I needed some tweak here and there. So I always kind of went down on the pitches a little bit in the minor league, but not the right way. So he came to me, he said, hey, I want you to come back to the practice tomorrow early so we can work on something I want to strengthen you. I go, okay. Next day I get to the ballpark early. He goes, you chasing a lot of pitches outside strike zone. And I want you to, when you are going to swing a breaking pitch, try to follow it, whatever he's going. Because when you chasing that pitch away, you chasing it, I don't want you to chase. If you're going to chase, follow it. Because you chasing, you going down, you're swinging that pitch when you're coming off of it this way. So whatever pitch going, just follow it. That way you see that you're not gonna actually make contact with it, so you will take it. So so I started doing it, and then it started doing the fact that when I see breaking ball up, and I will follow it, so automatically I will go down, because I'm following the pitch going down. Because I never done it with fastball. It's always been a breaking ball. So that's how I started doing it. And I figured that I was more in sync with my swing going from the ground up. Because my swing is, the power I believe my swing, coming from the ground up. So my swing started getting more sync. I was getting more power because I was doing that. I didn't love it. I didn't like going one knee because I thought that I would lose power. Yeah. It's something that just happened, but I couldn't take it away. So I was doing the minor league, and then when I came to the big league, my hitting coach kind of changed my swing a little bit because I was not doing good. And then I got away from it. But then when I figured, and I started understanding who am I as a hitter? What is my 4 or 5 things that make me who I was? And then I realized, number 1, this, number 2, this, number 3, 4, number 5. Okay, so why am I changing these things that make me a big leaguer? So what I did was, okay, I'm gonna go back to that, and whatever any coach wanna teach me, I can add to that, but not change this. This is who I am. This is me. Now I can add things to that, and then the one knee thing came back more.
Don't lose that core who you are.
Yeah. Awesome.
I'm so disappointed that everybody's signaling to us to wrap up.
You've experienced that with Adrian.
Say,
we just
when Adrian and I get together,
John Blake in
all
here.
we need is John Blake getting behind me. Man, it is always so much fun. I could do this for days. I just listen to you talk and pick away at these stories and the history, but I guess I'll just go out and talk to your statue.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, go ahead and talk to him.
Elvis will be out there rubbing
He's alone right now. I think he's feeling lonely, so go ahead and talk to him.
Adrian, thanks so much. Congratulations.
It's a pleasure.
Great having you back. We appreciate you sharing those stories and giving us some time.
A Ranger for eternity now. Not just for life.
Yeah.
For eternity.
Honor to be that.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. Again, thanks, Adrian, and thanks, everybody, for tuning in. There you go. Adrian Beltré, episode whatever of Still Talking Rangers.